So here what we've got going on is we're about to put the bumper up on jack stands. We've laid out some more of our cardboard. We're going to use some air filters from air conditioners. We've papered over our stand. We've done a bunch of stapling and things like that in order to hold everything in place. And of course use duct tape, or for you Aussies, I think you call it gaffer tape or something strange like that. I don't know. You people are weird, but we love you anyway. I'm also going to use one filter by the fan. That's going to be kind of my inlet to try and force the direction of the airflow through this little chamber. It will be open in the top, mostly so that I can stand up. Now you can maybe see a little more clearly how, see, shiny, not shiny, sucky. Okay, we're going to fix that, or at least attempt to here. First step is we got to finish cleaning up all the bugs and tar and crap like that. So I'm going to put the bumper up on jack stands to make it a little easier to work and keep it from actually making contact with the ground. That way we can hopefully get a nice even sand going on and keep it supported during this whole process so it doesn't topple over and mess up all this work we're working so hard to not spend a lot of money on. In its completion, it looks something like this. The idea is the natural flow of the apartment goes this way for airflow, and I'm using the fans through a filter so that I'm not just blowing crap straight into the paint, and it connects it through filters on the other side, or I guess up through the top. And I've redirected all my lighting so that if I get out of the way here, you can see the idea is it's not real big, but it's big enough, I think, it'll work. So we'll get to the next step, which is going to be sanding this down with, I think I'm going to start with maybe 1,000 grit and see where I get. So here what we're going to be doing is we're starting to wet the surface, you can see there. We're also soaking sandpaper on a simple 3M block that I've used for many a project. It's a very cost-effective little tool. I also have a spray bottle left over from tinting my own windows, and the idea is you want to make sure the sandpaper is saturated, you want to make sure there's enough water on the surface you're going to be sanding so that it collects the dust. You're going to just keep it wet as you continue to work, using the block to keep your surface flat that you're sanding with. On the front portion here, now we can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. There's a difference between the sun fade and not the sun fade. Is bright shiny red paint and dull faded paint. So the gamble here is we should be able to do a better job in terms of the finish than it looks right now, because if we even screw it up, it will look better than this right now, because this looks like some kid randomly tagged your car with a freaking crayon. Here we are with everything scuffed, and you can see the changes now in the whole surface. What we've done is we've tried to burn through the clear with our 1500 grit on the sanding block without actually going through any of the red base, so that we don't have to do a re-prime on this, because the primer was actually okay, it was just the clear coat that had faded completely. So I'm going to redo it all with a can of Honda Red, which should at the end of the day be fairly close. Just some simple duplicolor from AutoZone, as well as our worst enemy, the protective clear coat. So we'll see if we can get a decent job out of this. We'll still have to do some color sand because we'll get orange peel, probably some runs too, but we'll try and do a bunch of light coats to avoid. So here we are looking at the bumper with the first coat of the actual color on it. It's a little hard to see at the moment, but it looks even-ish from what I can tell here. I'm waiting for it to flash for about 10 minutes or so. I got one run going on, but I'll address that with some high-grade sandpaper, like probably that 1500 or 2000, and then hit it with clear, and we should be good to go. Here we can kind of see the first layer of clear coat going on. I'm going to have to go get another layer of clear to apply to this, just so that I have enough to buff and sand out. That way I can hopefully end up with a nice smooth surface when we're all done with this. Here we are as the second coat of the lacquer clear is drying, and it's looking at least uniform now, so hopefully by the time it completely dries we'll be able to do a quick wet sand with I don't know, probably starting with about 2000 grit and going to 2500. Then we'll use a buffing wheel on a drill motor, which we will cover in a subsequent segment. Here we're going to show the difference between the orange peel before and after. Before, you start with a grapefruit or orange peel looking texture. You can see the light is diffracted significantly. After the wet sand, it's nice and smooth, and you can use the lights in this way in order to reduce the orange peel and give you a smooth surface finish. Now we're at the point where we have all of the I guess wet sanding done with 2500 grit, and we've got smooth lines instead of all of the speckles from orange peel. And now that we have a smooth base, we should be able to polish it out using the rag wheel that will adapt easily to the cordless drill. Should be a fairly straightforward process. I'm just going to try and be careful not to burn through all the new shiny clear coat.